All right. All right. All right. All right. Aries, this one's for you. Hang in. Hang in. We're almost there. Cards were already well shuffled, but we're going to shuffle to the last second. This is you, Aries. This is your general report from Tarot Illumination for October 2017. We're just going to do a broad energy reading, nothing too fancy. We're going to use that heart spread thing that we do. You're going to watch for your sun, your moon, and your rising. Put it all together, create a narrative that works for you. Okay? We're not fortune tellers here. It's just tarot. Okay? Tarot just opens the door to the great beyond. And then it's up to you what you do with it. Okay? So let's have a look. No jumpers, no flyers, no oracles, no reversals. Just keeping it basic. So give me a second here. I want to clear the deck. Literally. No, that's good. We're just going to do it like that. Okay. I'm going to do it like that. And then like that. Bammo. Now, you'll see in a moment when we do the spread. I'm not going to hopefully not talk too much at the beginning here. This would be your core heart energy. Okay? Deep, deep at the core. Reason we do this heart spread here is because you can have all sorts of ways to live through life, but without a beating heart, there's nothing. You can't even breathe. Breath is the next thing, then water, and then food, but without the beating heart, there's nothing. So I like to take it right down to the core of the heart. Now, also, this is the energy you're bringing in with you, okay? As a living entity, thing that we call a human being. This might be legacy energy from lifetimes. This could be something just from the last few weeks. This could be whatever is something to do with the recent eclipses in the Leo North Node and all sorts of fun stuff like that. We don't know yet. This is the energy of the perpetual now. As you're moving into October and living through October, you're always in the now. And it's from this energy that you're making your decisions here about what's next. What next? What next? What next? Decision by decision by decision. And decisions are what we think of as time-based phenomena because we live in a three-dimensional world with this thing that we call time. Even though in spirit, time is just universal. There's no beginning, middle, or end. So we have to make decisions in order to evolve and grow. A lot of times people don't like to make decisions. They just would rather outsource their decision making and their thinking to someone or something else. But nevertheless, you here is a highly evolved spiritual being, Aries. Otherwise, you wouldn't be on the Tarot Illumination channel, hanging out. You are okay about making decisions. So how do we do that effectively so that it works as well as possible for you, which is what is best for others too? And on the understanding that when you make these decisions, you're creating your own reality. Otherwise, you might just experience life as something that comes at you, where everything is out there and there's you and there's the rest of the world, which is possible for an Aries. You're highly individual, and there's you, and then there's anything and everyone else, and that's fine. But you are a participant here with the rest of us too. But it's also important to maintain your sovereignty of self. So let's just say you understand that by your decisions, you can create your reality, your thoughts, your words, your speech, then this would be your energy. Otherwise, it would go back to feeling as though it's just everything and everyone else, and that just looks like fate. Now over here, we have a card of fear and joy, of uh, hopes and dreams, and what happens if it doesn't all work out, based on the decisions that we make over here. Because once you start moving into the unknown bravely in your mind, and then you start to realize it's going to affect your whole body, you're going to feel it in your body. What are you scared of if it doesn't work? What are you hoping for if it does work? And then finally, sort of an outcome momentum type energy here. Where does this all go? We start here, okay? Do you see this, the shape of the heart? You got that? You got that? I hope so, Aries. Hope so. And this is you at the very core, all right? Right there. All right. So we're going to look at this card in a moment. That's the weather. All right, here we go. Bammo, Ace of Cups. Oh, wow, I'm happy for you, Aries. Thank you very much. I wish I was an Aries right now. Let's pretend I'm an Aries. I can be any sign I want. Thank you very much. So for you, Aries, you're in an environment or a situation or circumstances where you're kind of like, like a child when they go out and they're very young and they're in their pajamas and they felt something magical was happening. It's like in a movie. And you're in your pajamas and you wander out into the middle of the street somewhere or a field or a yard or something, and you look up at the sky and you realize this is amazing. I am but a child here in this amazing place that we call planet Earth. And so far, as much as all the sci-fi people and the conspiracy theorists want to believe, no one has actually yet discovered anything that's remotely like planet Earth. There's a lot of speculation, but there is no other entity like planet Earth in the universe. There's nothing out there that we can tell that has physical life as we know it. So it's a very weird thing to be a human being on this planet and realize that and look outside there and realize this is amazing. It's beautiful. I love this. I love this. I am made of this. I am made of stardust. I am made of love. It's amazing. It is amazing. And you have the chance now in this lifetime as a physical being to own that, have that, experience that, and understand with the Ace of Cups, it's being offered to you, Aries. It's right out there in front of you. And your job is to grab it. It is your, let's say, spiritual duty, your job to grab that and own it because you deserve it. That card would not be there unless you deserved big love, the real thing, the real thing, Aries. Okay. So I'm very happy that you got that little card. What's going on? What's at the heart here? So despite the big love, you're having to do a lot of juggling right now because at the same time you might actually be aware of this. As let's just say the innocent Aries that you are. Sometimes they say Aries is like the newborn, not the baby, but the absolute raw brand newborn. The babies are already alive and existent, the little child. That's more like Cancerian energy. But Aries is the brand newborn where everything is brand new and you're brand new and you're aware of this. And it's almost like, wow, this is amazing. I'm made of love. I was born in love. I live in love. Love is all there is. Wow. And yet here we are in day-to-day physical reality realizing, oh, wait a minute. It's not that simple. And you get it, like being that child looking up at the stars in the sky and the universe and thinking this is mind-blowing. The reality is here on day-to-day Earth, it's a serious juggling match. You can see that here, of course, with the Two of Pentacles. Actually, how does this love thing actually work in real life? Thank you very much. In your innocence, Aries, and coming into maturity, this could be quite a significant journey because it means having to come to terms with these things called feelings, emotions, intuition, senses, and all of that. And try to wrap around it in such a way that it works. In other words, yeah, like we said earlier, how does this actually work in real life? Because you're not living in a movie. It's not a movie. You're actually a physical, real being living on Earth. And the reality for you is that you might be having a really hard time now juggling it. It might be fun because you know that it's almost like this is the inevitable outcome. It's like you can't escape from this. It's coming at you and you've already invited this in. It's there and you're going to accept it, Aries. So it's like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about this. This is coming your way. And you've already decided to accept this and receive this and allow for this in your life, in your world, in your soul and being. But the practical realities are how. Because we live in a three-dimensional earth plane where it's literally about the how, So, and that could be quite unsettling for you in some ways. You actually might be doing a good job of handling it and actually figuring it out. But it is a juggling mat. It is a balancing act. Very delicate, by the way. So what are you bringing in with you? Let's just admit it. A high degree of innocence, but also a very high degree of best of intentions and making the best of this and bringing it down to earth in ways that actually work. In other words, how, Aries, now that you are in this highly fortuitous situation, how are you going to actually bring in the Ace of Cups love, that big universal love, that big personal love, that emotional love, that heart love that is now officially yours? How are we going to make that happen? Because it requires a lot of, let's just say, honesty and an admission that we don't actually know. And then on top of that, an admission that there's a lot to learn. But there's a way to turn it into something that works where it becomes something of increasing value. So it's not just a concept or thought or a wish or a feeling. It's a real life phenomenon that exists inside of you and you own it on the understanding that you realize, my gosh, I am actually made of love. I belong to the universe belongs to me. I own it. I am one and the same with the universe. Thank you very much. The question is, how do we actually do this? What does this actually mean? How does this translate into day-to-day life? How do I, let's say, transmute this beautiful love energy into a working, living existence? Not like a job, but in a way that your existence works, Aries, on a day-to-day sense that makes sense here in our simple three-dimensional world. Okay, let's look at the now. Well, this with the Two of Wands here, it feels to me, as your reader, Tarot Illumination for you, Aries, in October, it feels like because of your awareness here of what's going on, it's like you have a very stark, vivid awareness. There's no ambiguity here. This is out there. No question about it, that this exists. It's true and it's real, and you already know that and you feel it. And you're already in the process. You are already a work in progress, figuring it all out, trying to understand it, and turning it into a practice. Actually learning what this is and how it works in day-to-day life. And what that does, it takes you into a position where you realize, wow, that's a lot of responsibility. That's actually kind of a big deal. And it opens up new possibilities. With the Two of Wands here, October can feel like a month where, my gosh, there's a lot of stuff that's happening. There's a lot of stuff that can happen. There's a lot of stuff that needs to happen. So what am I going to do? How am I going to do it? I'm being forced to make some very big, important decisions here because there are potential huge outcomes depending on the decisions, the practical decisions that have to be made so that this works properly. This big love stuff works properly, okay? Because it's out there. It's gold. It's very valuable. It's not just a concept. So let's make a decision. Whoa. Okay. So it's, to me, it feels here, the Tarot Illumination feeling here is that it's about learning a code, learning and understanding and being ready, willing, and able in your naivety, your innocence, your willingness to go forward on a brand new path, knowing that it's going to be a juggling match, knowing that there's going to be a lot of stuff that has to be figured out and understood on the journey itself, without any particular, let's just say, pre-established goals, destinies, or ambitions attached to it. The only goal being to incorporate love in the grandest sense, in the most profound sense, down to earth, bringing it all down to earth, bringing the healing power of love down to earth, bringing all the energy down to all the energy of heaven down to earth in a way that actually works. It needs to be figured out. It needs to be understood. It needs to be accepted that it is a a work in progress, and it's going to be a long-term journey, and it has a long-term, so you have to take a long-term perspective, realizing that you're going to have to make decisions as you go along, like any journeyman would do, starting off a long, long apprenticeship, okay? In which case, it makes you're placing yourself in a position where you understand that you cannot rely on any other external code, any other pre-established or predetermined or inherited codes that you have had to carry with you for so long. No, no, no. It's a decision on the understanding that it's now time for you to write the code. You to write your own code, giving your own real life 3D experience. In other words, evidence, real life evidence, not theory, not some practice, not some book that somebody just gave you and said, hello, dear Aries, this is your new code book of life. I hope you like it. Just follow all the guidelines. There's 10 major guidelines, and everything will be fine. But you are Aries, and you're saying, excuse me, no, I've just realized that I have a duty to write my own code to what works for me in terms of absolutes. And that code will be a universal code that can actually apply to anyone and everyone else. It doesn't have to be just for you, Aries. You're talking about a universal code where you get the chance to learn it and understand it and turn it into a practice, something that actually has long-term value and can be understood and appreciated by others, so that they're not just going blind and trusting you. It's a living, live experience where you live it out. You live by example. You live the code by example, by making that your mission, your duty, and living through it every day, honoring love in its purest form, making decisions all day, every day to honor the irrefutable laws of the universe, that love is all there is. Love is always the ultimate answer. Love is the ultimate medicine. And then turn it into a code of practice that has value and evidence, not only just for yourself, but for everyone around you. So let's have a look. How do you do that? It's tricky. We're doing a lot of how energy here anyway. Okay. So you've got the Nine of Cups here, Aries. My feeling is that it's like acknowledging that you own that, acknowledging that you have that. It's almost like that giddy child experience. Let's go back to the little child in the middle of the street or the middle of the field, looking up to heaven and all the stars and the Milky Way and the galaxies and the meteors and all of it. And you're looking up and you're realizing the way to make this happen is to always go back to what counts, is the purity and the innocence of having a complete open heart that is so open that it can accept massive amounts of love, and it's not obscured by previous codes or obsolete codes or anything like that, in which you become a receptacle. You yourself become a receptacle for this love. So this love moves in like a flow. It's literally like the fountain here of infinite love that keeps flowing and flowing forever and ever. The key thing is to be ready, willing, and able to receive. A lot of people really, really struggle to receive love, especially when it's right out there, right in front of them. They're terrified of it. If you don't know what love is, it can be an absolutely terrifying experience that you would run away, because you would rather just deal with the furniture of life, the things of life that are already tangible and established, like status quo, because that's life, okay? And maybe some people think, well, that's just life and it sucks, and you just have to get on with it and get used to it. But no, this is an indication that the Ace of Cups energy needs a receptacle in which to flow, and you become the receptacle. You see how these cards connect here? Do you see how this overflowing, endless supply of love from the universe needs to be accepted and received by someone who's ready, willing, and able to receive that love? And that would be you, Aries, okay? Filling your cup. So the secret to moving on in a way that works is allow yourself to receive all the love that you deserve. Allow your cups to be filled, almost like a wish come true. And it doesn't mean it has to be like, you know, something where you would have to show off. It's just that you have to do this and turn it into a practice. It's so hard to do as a human being to simply be there, ready, willing, and able to receive love. Be feeling worthy, feeling deserving, feeling open to receiving love. It's one of the hardest things to do on earth. So I know it should be simple, but apparently human beings are very, very good at undermining themselves. But you, Aries, seem to be charged with a new mission, a life goal, a purpose, a reason for being, where you, in order to be effective, need to be ready, willing, and able at all times to receive love, all the love that you deserve, because you've probably worked for this in previous lifetimes, where now the juggling match is trying to keep yourself in a state of feeling worthy, in a state of feeling ready, willing, and able to receive love. Because the more you do that and the more you understand it's all about being willing to receive, then the better you get. So how does that translate into your life going forward? Let's have a look. I don't know what to say, Aries. With the Sun card here, it's about learning how to love yourself to the absolute max, okay? By being willing to receive all the love that's out there, so that you understand that it is a practice, and it might be a very hard practice to learn and understand, but so long as you are ready, willing, and able to do that, and you understand that it is a delicate balancing act, because a lot of us as human beings are programmed to feel unworthy, undeserving, unopen, not ready, not willing, not able to receive, because we just don't feel worthy. We carry a lot of shame, we carry a lot of guilt and anxiety and all those things which actually act as obstacles, blockages to receiving love. So it's like you have to do a lot of unlearning to learn what actually works, to be able to be that amazing receptacle, so that you, when you become that receptacle and you can actually receive and accept the love and all your cups are filled, then guess what happens? It's so effing simple. Boop! You light up like a light bulb. You light up like a Christmas tree. You light up like the 4th of July or New York City on New Year's Eve. Blammo! You become a beacon. You literally just radiate love. And you start to realize, oh my gosh. So it is work. It is a task. It is a process. There is a code. There is a way to do this. There are like 10 simple steps. And the Hierophant energy here would indicate that it is kind of like what we're talking about here. Finding ways to brainwash yourself, convince yourself that you are worthy, you are deserving, you are open to receive, you are ready, you are willing, you are able to receive. And guess what happens? Poof, you receive. And all of a sudden, there it is. It's just floating around. There's the energy of heaven. And you make the decision. I decided I'm Aries and I'm ready, willing, and able to receive. I'm worthy, deserving, and open. Let's make it happen. Click. So you just plug it in. When you do that, it's just like deciding I need a shower. I'm going to go step in the shower and just get myself completely showered with love. Thank you very much. It's a decision. Wow. Who knew it was that simple? But it sounds simple, but simple's not easy. Okay? Simple's not easy. And we can talk about it here on Tarot Illumination, but the reality is you, Aries, are living this thing out. And you are the fighter, the warrior, the one in the front, the one who goes where no one else wants to go, because you have the fearlessness and the strength and the power to do it. So that's what's happening. You are realizing it is a mission, a purpose, a drive, an ambition, and it's going to turn into an operating system and a code that has value for others. And you're going to live by example, and it's going to show. That is cool, Aries, okay? It's a lot to live up to, but it's pretty cool. And this looks like it has a long-term trajectory. It might be something to do with the big eclipses that happened recently. with Leo and Aquarius, like in August. We'll see. Anyway, so over here, this would be the energy of like deep down as you go through this. It's like, yeah, I get it. Let's do. I'm onto this. Yeah, I understand what Tarot Illumination is talking about. Yeah. On the also though, when you realize the huge responsibilities and the massive task and ambitions that you've set with yourself, it's like, oh my gosh, what if it doesn't work out? Uh-oh. Or what if it does work out? What does that mean to me, Aries the person? Because this is just what happens like in your life, okay? But what about you? Oh, ha 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 ha. Some people think of it as a wedding card, a marriage card, or let's celebrate with your loved ones card. Okay, especially in a way that's formalized. It's almost, some people think of it as the engagement card. Now, we're not doing a love and relationship reading here, but it could indicate that by living up to your, let's say, potential, being willing to go through all the ups and downs and the emotional turbulence that has to be endured in order to find harmony and balance, being willing and ready and willing and able to accept the love, understanding that it is a practice. It is a process that can be learned, and it becomes an ambition and a goal, a desired goal, where you become the receiver, and in so doing, you become the transmitter. It's beautiful. It's the marriage of the self to the self. So you can celebrate like, oh my gosh, I love myself. You can give yourself a huge, massive hug to the point where you become so loving of yourself, which again, of course, is simply because of having made the decision to accept the love that you deserve. And it might be coming to you from a significant other or from significant others, but it's to the point where it needs to be honored, respected, and celebrated and formalized in some way. Not just something that you keep to yourself, but something that you share with the rest of humanity. Bring it out there. Like, Aries, show us what you do and how you did it. Okay? Show us how you do it, what you do, and tell us the code, because we want to know, because we're already there on board with you to celebrate, and we can already sense that you're doing it, and we want to know. And so that would be like the awesome outcome. Okay, but also, of course, it would be scary if this doesn't happen. This would be, with the Four of Wands here, it's like, it's almost like it's a very strong affirmation that this is already lined up to work anyway. It's almost like there's nothing to fear. We understand that there's a continuous, ongoing, deep, deep soul feeling like there's a lot of juggling that has to happen, but you're going to handle it. There's no question that you're not going to handle it, okay? You're going to handle it. You're going to deal with it because it's what you deserve, and it's coming at you. This would not be here unless you deserved it, okay? All right, Aries? So where does that take us all? Let's have a look. Wow. Sublime truth. A new opportunity, a new realization of this almost like blinding truth. Oh my gosh, it's absolutely true. I had no idea. You could have been studying spirituality for 30 years and still never figured it out the way it's working here. You could have been on a soul mission. You could have been like the hermit. You could have been on a spiritual quest forever and never understood it like you understand now. Because this is the real thing. It's actually happening with you, inside of you, for you, and for others. Inside of you, with you, for yourself and for others, in a way that's public, obvious, and needs to be celebrated and shared and enjoyed. Share your light, share your love, share your joy with others, in a way that is not just raucous, but is like literally formally acknowledged. Okay, so it takes you into this like stark realization of a whole new truth, a whole new like paradigm of existence that lies before you. And that's coming out later in October, because you're going to have to live through this. There's a lot to live through here, Aries. So do you see the energy of opportunities at the very, very beginning here, like the outlying energies that are swirling around, encouraging this to all to happen? And the reality of it is that it's true and that it actually works simply by making these very big, important decisions to allow it to happen. So it's kind of a big deal, Aries. All right. I don't want to talk anymore. I'll spoil it. Please reinterpret however you want. The cards go this way. I know a lot of you are very sophisticated with this stuff. Just go for it. Watch for your sun, moon, and rising, and then just absorb it all and turn it into something that really, really works for you guys. Okay? All right. Have a super October. Bye, Aries. Bye.